Hi, good morning. I already did my makeup. I didn't film the process and that's okay because I'm just popping on to show what I did, quickly talk about the topic of time, and then go off to a presentation I'm giving today about starting a business. So it's gonna be great. I don't really have stage fright or anything, so it's gonna be so fun to get up there and talk to a huge group of people. So I did supernatural brows today. The main thing that I did differently is I put eyeliner on and I did these wings. Now, I suck at doing these wings. I don't know if it's the shape of my eye. I'm not sure what the real struggle is here, but the wings took me so long and like I had to keep erasing and redoing it. And wings are something I want to get better at. It's so hard to do, but I like how it turned out. I used the Maybelline Falsies Surreal Mascara and I think it gives a nice look. It's very thick mascara, so it gives a bit of a falsies look, I would say. I would agree. Did the typical highlight and blush and then did a darker lip because I think the darker lip kind of makes it like a professional vibe, kind of pulling things together. So that's what the makeup look has been today. It was hard to do because of the eyeliner. And so what I wanted to talk about with regards to time is that time is so interesting to me. It's like such a cool concept, scientifically and also like anecdotally. Basically with the theory of relativity, if you were to go in a spaceship that could travel close to the speed of light and you traveled to a distant galaxy, let's say it took you a year to get there, you've now aged a year. You want to come back to Earth, it now takes you another year to get back to Earth. You've now aged a total of 2 years. But on Earth, 4 million years have passed. 4 million. So the speed at which you travel relative to other things will change how time flows, faster or slower. This is so cool, right? It's sort of like hard to intuitively understand what that even means, but it is the theory of relativity and it's been proven, so there you go. It's really cool. Additionally, gravity fields warp time and space-time. So if you have like a strong gravitational field, it will slow down time, which is so interesting too. I know black holes also do something with time, so it's so interesting how time is relative. And then finally, a lot of scientists do believe that past, present, and future all coexist at the same time. I don't think that has like been as like scientifically proven, but I think a lot of people do believe that. And apparently Einstein said something along those lines, that the distinction between past, present, and future is actually an illusion. I think Einstein said that. So that's a super interesting concept because I also experience kind of like an intuitive feeling that past, present, and future coexist, or at least have an influence on each other that we tend to ignore or tend to not understand. So like I came up with a quote like 3 years ago-ish, along the lines of that the present is the manifestation of the past. So the present isn't any different from what the past was. It's just that the past had to go a certain way to manifest the present. So all elements of the past still exist and influence. And then the future is potentiality, right? So the present is actually the potential of what creates that future. So present is both past manifest and future potentiality. And so the future already exists in potentiality in the present. That's how I view it. It like also innately makes sense to me on some level. There's also the idea of the block universe, where if like the universe was a cube and time were to travel through that cube, the cube itself is like, it starts in the past and then it goes through the future, and it goes through the present and the future. So let's say you're halfway through that cube. Well, that past that you've gone through, it still exists in the cube. It's just that you're no longer there, you're halfway through. And then the future, the rest of the cube already exists there. It's just that time is going to go through it eventually, and the cube is always there. Concept that past, present, future is all existing at once. Block universe theory, I don't think was proven scientifically or anything like that. It's an interesting concept though. And I think that we all have an innate, or like all of us have experienced how like time can go faster and slower depending. If you're like really busy, time will probably go faster. If you're going through really like positive and exciting life events, they kind of just like fly by. If you're having like a really hard year, going through some stuff, time tends to slow. If you're not doing as much, time tends to slow, which is super interesting. I think everyone can relate to that. I think like there's part of Romeo and Juliet, I believe, is it Romeo who talks about time, and he's like, you know, time spent with you, Juliet, goes by so fast, but when I'm away from you, it's years and years without you. That's not what the quote is, but I think it's along those lines. And lastly, I have a really interesting experience of time when it comes to music. So sometimes if I'm super well rested, like my brain perceives music in like a relaxed way, and it feels slower than usual. If I'm really exhausted, really tired, it's like the tempo seems to be going faster for me in my mind. I'm sure other people experience this. It's pretty cool. Most of the time I just hear music as music. It's just what it is. The normal tempo of it, but I also think like perception of time can shift around a bit. And so I think it's pretty cool to, I mean, it started when I was really young. I don't know, like maybe when I was like 10 or 11 or something, I would sometimes like perceive music at different tempos, like the same song at different tempos. Nothing like wildly different, not like super slow and then super fast. It's just like a slight change in tempo based on how how well I'm rested and how my brain is perceiving that stimulus. I think that's really cool. I think that's essentially like my thoughts on time. I'm gonna have to go do my presentation at work. I'm so excited. And that's it.